Just when you thought it was over, we started it over. Just a different chapter, but still part of the story. Spirit of a patriot, but the heart of a soldier. If you wasn't part of the grind, you can't be part of the glory. We right here, we ain't going nowhere. It's your worst nightmare. We back and they all scared. Every year is our year. The defense is top tier. Whenever you see that red and blue, it's a new era. They too scared of us. I don't know who said it was over, but they lied. The truth never miss, kicking down the door like who let him in. We been grinding and we ain't worried about the small talk. We big timers.
Yeah, can't believe it, we ain't leaving. Yeah, we achieving, can't be beaten. See it loud, see it proud from the top of my lungs. Hometown, second crown, you ain't trying with us. Around this time, you really can't deny. You can't run, you can't hide when the Patriot comes.
All right, everyone. Welcome to the Patriots Friday Night Lights podcast. How are we doing? How are we doing?
Hey, man, it's a good day. You tell me, man. The team looks competitive based off of what I'm hearing in OTAs.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like Christian Gonzalez. I seen him at the podium the other day. He looks like he's been in the weight room.
Brett,
Yeah,
that dude is a big boy now. He's looking. He's put on a few pounds of muscle. I like it.
Yeah, and that goes to the people that let him drop in the draft because they thought he couldn't reach game day intensity or something like that. Like,
Yeah, he was too quiet for the position.
Like what?
Best corner in the league, and he just got actually 10 pounds of muscle.
And you can see it from his technique and just athleticism. He has cat-like quickness and just his reflexes. So, I'm interested to see how this is going to go, and especially, Gonzo. What was he, about 197 coming in? Depending on where he's at, he could still be at the same weight, just probably put it on the muscle. But it's about to be interesting to see because he was already locking up bigger wide receivers anyway. Guys like the DK Metcalfs and
Jamar Chase.
He can keep up with the shifty ones out on the perimeter as well.
Yeah, I mean he's so fluid. Every motion is not wasted. Technically he's almost perfect with just the way he's able to kind of change between
size,
receivers,
height, weight, speed, position, intelligence.
Yeah,
exactly. He's definitely a student of the game.
Yeah, so, physically he can match up with anyone, and then mentally he's able to kind of flip the switch if he goes from a big receiver to a small receiver or to a slot or outside. It doesn't matter. He's going to lock him up.
Yep. And I see a big year from Kyle Duggar as well. I feel like with the upgrades in the secondary, I feel like we're going to see more of a 2021 form. Well, not 2021. Was it 2022?
Yeah, it was the year. Yeah, we went 8-9. He had 4 touchdowns or whatever.
Yeah, he had a good year that year. So I feel like just with more on the defense, coupled with the players that was already there that we look up to, like Kyle Duggar, Keon White, Christian Barmore, and Christian Gonzalez, even Jabril Peppers. This is about to be and the secondary was already secondary wasn't bad last year. It's actually their run defense that was actually terrible.
Yeah, and then getting up to the quarterback was pretty bad.
I think in passing yards, the Patriots might have been somewhere top 15, top 10 maybe.
Yeah, and then speaking of the safety position, sounds like Craig Woodson has been extremely impressive.
Right.
So kind of interested to see how he fits into the lineup with having Jabril and Duggar in there, and then Mapu's technically in that little group. But yeah, so I think Craig Wilson's very impressive. Him and Will Campbell have been the most impressive from what I've been hearing. So that's pretty exciting.
I feel like Mapu's gonna stay more of that linebacker, safety, hybrid type of role.
Yeah.
Certain key situations where you can put him in and place him inside. Place him inside where he can either blitz or get at the cover the tight end. Hold on, I'm trying to. Jesus Christ, why did it do this to me?
And then another rookie that's been impressive is Kyle Williams. Sounds like there's a lot of talks with Kyle Williams, which is probably the most exciting, right? Because like Will Campbell, we already know he's going to be like he should be the best rookie, right? That's kind of a no-brainer. But having a receiver, having like hype around him is like, I mean, we haven't had that in forever, like literally forever. So it's like pretty exciting. I'm hoping we keep hearing about him. I know the next media day at training camp or OTAs is on Wednesday, so we'll have to wait till then. But it sounds like Drake May is just like targeting him like crazy, which is really exciting. I think.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. Hopefully, hopefully the 4 interception day wasn't nothing to be too alarmed about.
That's being so overhyped. It's like literally the first practice since literally the last game, right? This is and he's 2 of them are against Gonzo, like we were talking about kind of off camera, right? The best corner in the league. He's throwing to the best corner in the league. I heard one of them was like it was like a perfect ball, but Gonzo was just like so ridiculous that he like made the interception. He kind of like came across the field and there's like literally nothing that you could do. He was just like, I mean, he's Gonzo, right?
Right, Christian Williams, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I have no concerns. It's one practice, right? Josh Allen, he just had a 3 interception OTA practice, right? Like it doesn't matter right now, right?
Like these guys are they're coming off from vacations and you know, I mean everything else. So
yeah, and he's learning a new system.
Schemes. Yeah,
right?
Trying to implement the new scheme,
and he's literally
figure out
the best corner in all of football.
Trying to figure. Have we heard anything about Polk and Baker? I'm not gonna lie. I've been kind of out of sync these last couple of days, just with work.
Yeah,
and everything else.
Baker, the only thing I've heard of is that he had like a crazy catch during practice I think it was over Gonzo. He kind of like mossed him. But I've heard nothing about Polk. Heard absolutely nothing about Polk.
Interesting.
Which, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we've only had 1 day of access, so it's not like we're going to get a ton of information yet. But I mean, I haven't really seen anything. The only thing I've heard of with Baker is that one play.
I feel like he could be the odd man out.
Yeah, because I've heard a lot of Chisholm. He's been impressive.
Yep. So last year, the Patriots passing defense was actually in the top 10. Passing yards per game with 211.5. Passing attempts.
So it's just a game.
Yeah, they were 10th. Passing completions allowed, they were 10th with 346. Completion percentage, they were 17th.
Yeah.
The passing defense was good. It's good. So looking at the run defense, rushing yards allowed ranked 17th. They didn't get no sacks. 28 sacks on the season. Top
right. 30. That's what killed us a lot on defense.
Yeah, it's the sacks. You know, the defensive line. That's why I don't mind that there was a point of emphasis, like getting guys there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I feel like the two signings that I can't say like that. I feel like might be a little overrated based on what we paid. It's probably Carl Landry and Robert Spillane.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't like Carl Landry's good, but I feel like to make like a key difference maker, especially on the edge with the Patriots, you would want another guy, not an 8 sack a year guy, because that's what we're getting out of Keon. But we feel like the ceiling's much higher. Christian Barmore has also reached that peak, I think, in 2023 at 8.5 sacks. So, we want a guy where we can look towards and say, well, yeah, this guy can get us about 12 to 15. Maybe Keon can do that with help on the opposite side. But, like, I don't know, like the Harold Landry thing, and especially the reports that came out after it as well, when they were talking about just like what transpired in Tennessee and how he acted last year. And even that they said he played from what I heard, and this is coming like from Tennessee and everything, he played closer to 235 last year on the edge, which is
right. You were saying that he was, yeah.
Yeah, but he was among the top run stoppers in the league, but so was Anthony Jennings year in, year out. So it's kind of like one of them things. Like, I hope it's not, well, we're going to take this player and replace him with him. You understand what I'm saying? Because that would be like I don't think Jennings.
I think Landry's old things too.
I think Jennings needs to remain a Patriot because
that's a big
based off of where he was picked. And honestly, like, if you watched him before his knee injury in the versus Clemson, because he was a real good player. Like, you could have made an argument that he probably, before getting injured, he could have been a late first round, somewhere in the second round pick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was that good. He was what you Hightower was. Move him on and off the ball, but he definitely had a catastrophic knee injury that they thought that he possibly wouldn't even play again.
Okay.
So, that's why it's like I follow a lot of college football, so I know exactly where Anthony Jennings is. So it's like that's why I'm proud of him from that aspect. Like, he has gotten better every year since, he had that little hiccup where I think he had to get put on IR for the whole year, and I heard he was overweight. I heard he was grossly overweight that season. That him and Bill had like a real spat about it. He walked in the locker room a little too heavy, but like I said, the Landry pick, I don't know, Spillane, again, another run stopper.
Yeah, Spillane's like a tackle machine.
Yeah,
he's had over 110 tackles like multiple years. He's just gonna be the guy who's just right in the middle of the second you get past offensive line, he's gonna be like right there. Right, I don't know. I'm going to be getting behind the offensive line, right, and getting out to the quarterback, but he's definitely going to be someone who's going to be involved in pretty much every tackle.
I feel like Mapu's going to play a big part in this defense. I wouldn't sleep on him falling like below some of these linebackers that they brought in, because I feel like that was the vision for him anyway, for him to be a linebacker playing closer to the line of scrimmage. And him as well. I feel like when he's on the field and he gets a healthy amount of playing time, we can put it out there that he's made some plays on multiple occasions.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't feel like he's a weak point in the defense. I feel like he would be that kind of second-tier defender that you would want to build with as well, that you would want on the defense going forward, just based off of his athletic ability. He can cover as well. Place him closer to the line of scrimmage. Like, there's a lot of formations and schemes that you can use Marte Mapu in for the Patriots. So I feel like the team looks good. I always wonder, like, who's the odd man out in a lot of these situations.
Yeah, I mean, receiver is obviously the biggest one, where they're going to end up with 6, and we have like 12 right now, something like that. So I'm really excited to kind of see how that goes. But yeah, I mean, I haven't heard anything about Polk, so it's seeming more and more likely that he's probably on the outs. The only thing that makes me think that we're going to keep him is that he was a second-round pick. But I mean, right, if Kyle Williams comes in and outperforms him, if Efton Chisholm comes in and he's being more impressive, right, those are later round guys. Like, I feel like to just keep them, they're cheaper. Just get rid of them.
Yeah, I'm about to look up OTA reviews, Jalen Polk. Let's see.
Yeah, I've heard absolutely nothing. In Baker, there's only been one, which, I mean, I don't know. Baker seems to be like a off-season, preseason merchant. So we'll kind of see. But yeah, I'm really excited about Kyle Williams. I really liked him out of college, so I'm excited. I'm happy that he's performing really well. And then speaking of receivers, today it looks like Stephon Diggs finally participated, running routes, catching balls. I think this was his first day back, so that's pretty cool. Hopefully he's able to get back week 1. But if he's already doing stuff, running routes and stuff now, can't imagine he's gonna miss a ton of time. There's no contact right now, but just the fact that he's out there running routes and catching balls, right? That's a lot of dynamic movements putting onto that knee. So he's definitely in a good spot.
Yeah, I think he definitely probably going to be. If he's not there week 1, I'll probably say week 2 or 3. He's going to make it. I don't see him out for long.
Yeah, I think they're going to give him at least 2 or 3 weeks of being 100%. So whenever he starts to feel 100%, they'll just give him a couple weeks just to stay in that pocket as long as they can before putting him out there. Right? They're not going to be like, oh, he's 100% today, so he's going to play tomorrow. I feel like they're going to, just right. If he's not 100% at least a week before the first game, then they're just going to make him wait. I feel like that's what's going to happen, which I think is the most appropriate. Right, we're first game is against the Raiders, so right defensively, right, corner wise, there's no big threats. We don't need him out there, in that kind of a situation. So I see them waiting.
Yeah.
Right, because defensively, all they got is Max Crosby.
Yeah.
To be honest. So if Kyle Williams is right looking like he's a dog, just have him out there right with Pop and Bourne or whatever, and then just let Stefan take his time.
So has he been playing on the perimeter? But I feel like he's an inside-out threat anyway because
Kyle's
in Daniel's system, nobody really just sits in one spot unless that's what they're going to do with Baker. If they feel like, would you do that? All right, well, we figured out he's an X, and but he only can play on one side of the field.
Yeah, he's been practicing on the outside almost exclusively from the way it sounds. So they think he's an X. At least so far. Right,
but a 5'10" though.
Yeah, I mean he's
that's what they need explosiveness target. That's why I was hoping. Well, Javon Baker's what, about 6'1", 206. So he's a pretty sizable receiver. Jalen Polk is too. Jalen Polk, Javon Baker about the same size. Polk might be a little longer in length as far as maybe arm length for everything, but I don't know. Kyle Williams, obviously he's going to make it because he just came in under this new coaching regime. But what's going on with Booty?
Booty has to stay. That'd be so stupid.
Yeah, because it's if you weren't going to trade him draft night and try to get somebody in the earlier rounds, I feel like if you were going to move off Booty based off of what he gave you last year, then you should be looking for a wide receiver in the earlier rounds. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's somehow, somewhere you got to replace that production. Right. From a 7th round pick. So I feel like he's good. Pope, now looking at it, Pope might be. He might.
I mean, what is he bringing to the table besides the fact that he was a 2nd round pick?
Right.
I mean, I don't know what he has to. I mean, he has to really prove himself because he's starting at the literal bottom of the NFL. So that's a massive hill for him to climb in a insanely crowded room with a bunch of receivers who have proven themselves better, more than him already. So I don't know. I don't see it really being possible because he's starting. I mean, he's starting from basically where Efton Chisholm is, right? An undrafted rookie, right? He's starting from the bottom of the bottom, right? I don't think he's above anyone at this point. So he has a massive hill to climb.
A massive one. This is crazy. And Elliot, what about Elliot Wolf? Because it's if you couldn't put together a good draft without Vrabel and all of them coming in, It's like, what exactly is his value?
Yeah, it sounds like there's one more year of him, but I mean, you have to look at his body of work outside of every single year that he's been here, right? And you also have to put Matt Groh in there. Matt Groh's
he can go too. That's what I'm saying. Like all
right.
those guys, like I said, Bill, I love him to death. I feel like he's compromised now, and it's sad that watching him go out the way that he is currently. But if you were gonna send him out, which whether you agree right or wrong, there was a method to the madness, and it got us to some highs. And then when the lows came, it's like these guys couldn't stomach it no more. It was personal. Okay, so you got him out, but you kept guys that was helping him make those decisions, because literally he can't scout players during the season, but they're having draft meetings and stuff like that through the season. So to sit here and say that he just forego every draft pick that his scouts brought back to him, I find that to be a little, what I mean? That sounds a little far fetched, because then it's like, what's the point of even having you guys around it? If that's,
Right. Yeah, that's not realistic. That definitely isn't true.
And then it's like you promoted Gerard. Everybody said that this was going to be a disaster. And then it's just like I said, we last year, like, I don't know what did they think, like first year head coach, first year GM, first year defensive coordinator, first time offensive coordinator calling plays in over 10 years. Like, we're, what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
It's bad. So it was like, it's just compounding problems. So in the end, hopefully we don't see that it's Kraft. Robert Kraft might be compromised too. Like, yeah, he made a great decision trading a first round pick for a coach that many people probably would have said was insane, but 6 Super Bowl championships came with it. That's his stake to the Hall of Fame. Nothing else needs to be said. Nothing needs to be discredited from him at behest of Bill. Nothing needed to be discredited at time at the behest of Bill and Kraft, and vice versa. Like, everybody played their part for as long as they did. It's sad to see how it goes out, but that was a long time. So hopefully this new coaching staff that they brought in, hopefully it can gel the building back together. Because
I mean, that's what it sounded like. There hasn't been. Obviously, it's early, but like there hasn't been any negativity with the coaching staff. There's been absolutely nothing.
Oh, I trust they're professionals. Now that makes sense that you would get a coach that had success with a subpar quarterback, that you would get him and bring him into a better situation where he has a talented quarterback. So great for Mike Vrabel. Now we can really see his greatness as a coach as well, without a Ryan Tannehill as his damn quarterback. So as I said, that was the move that I thought they should have made last year anyway. Like, if you were going to go out on Bill and Mike Vrabel was sitting right there, but you talking about promoting Gerard Mayo,
right?
Doesn't even make sense.
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't even make sense. Like, if that's what you wanted to do, then you could have found a better candidate than that. So
yeah, with this draft class, right, just with Elliott Wolf, right, I don't think we'll ever know like how much Elliott Wolf actually had in say with this one, right, where it sounds like there's been a lot of input with Mike Vrabel and his team. So I mean this draft class has to work out.
I feel like the draft, I feel like first round choices are not as hard to make as the third, the fourth. What I mean?
Like,
got picks.
Drake May was the obvious. Will Campbell was pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Gonzo ended up being kind of obvious. I don't think that was really the intention, but like just the way it was falling, it made the most sense.
That was their number one player on their board anyway.
Right.
I thought
he
I'm
shouldn't have
not
been
gonna
available.
lie. I thought they were gonna take JSN.
Yeah, I thought it was either him or Zay
Oh
Flower.
yeah, JSN. Yeah, I thought they was gonna take one of those wide receivers there.
Yeah, which we probably would have,
Addison.
because Gonzo wasn't supposed to be anywhere under top 10.
Yeah, because they took I thought Washington would have took him, but then they took Emmanuel Forbes. Seattle had took Devon Witherspoon at 5. I'm like, what? I was like, okay, so you start seeing Gonzo fall right there at 17. So I'm like, when I seen him on the board too, I was like, well, that'd be a good pick for the Patriots to make. But I'm thinking they need a wide receiver. They're going to try to get Mac a wide receiver.
Just thank God they didn't, because
because I feel like they saw the writing on the wall with Mac Jones, regardless of what anybody can say. And Mac Jones wasn't even a bad pick because they needed a quarterback. That's what I'm saying. I don't particularly blame anybody for Mac Jones being bad. And okay, people can say, well, Belichick didn't give him anything. Bro, his rookie year, they freaking spent mad money to give him something. So what exactly was he supposed to do in those coming years behind it? That the quarterback started to regress because, all right, yeah, we could say that the weapons didn't work out, things like that. But he also wasn't helping himself as well. And then you hear about the type of leader and his attitude in the locker room, and then you watch the play on the field.
right.
Like, what happened that you went into a sophomore slump? People, oh, Patricia. Patricia didn't make Ramondre Stevenson fumble on the 3-yard line when they had that game versus Cincinnati. That was a comeback win that the Patriots could have snagged. That could have pushed them to 9 wins on that season. Right there, Jacoby Myers, who's now a freaking Raider, right after he did this.
Yeah.
I mean, the overtime, that was another comeback. That could have been 10 wins, playoffs right there.
Luckily, Bill was able to see that before it really, happened. Like, he went in the draft knowing. I mean, it looks like he knew that Mac was. Right, is he
compromised?
The guy, right?
He's compromised.
Yeah, he knew that pretty early on. Which, I mean, in the end, it worked out.
I mean, like, I'm the type of person, like I said, I tell everybody this. I like to look at the whole picture. As many variables that I can get, so I can get an understanding of something. Mac Jones, see, it's an illusion that some people, oh, he had such a great rookie year. He had a decent rookie year. He had a decent 7-game stretch. Let's say that. Because what was our record going into that 7-game stretch?
2-4, right?
Yeah, about 2-4. And what was our record after the 7-game win streak?
I think we're 1-3, 1-4. I think we only had one win. It was against Jacksonville.
Yep. So in that little 7 games, they said we had a real easy schedule, and in them 7 games, we had the number 1 rushing offense in the league in that time span, as well as the defense was playing lights out too. We had a Thursday night shutout of the Atlanta Falcons. Can't forget the
Bills game.
Yeah, the Bills game. And so it's like not taking nothing away from it all, but it's like it was already there. And then for us to get beat as bad as we did in the playoffs. Like, yeah, the defense, people, oh, Belichick's defense, this. Can we talk? Do people know how many guys were hurt in that game, though? Like, there were guys that were starters that possibly could have kept the game in control that was hurt. I think, wasn't Trent Brown out?
I'm sure he was. That guy was out every other fucking game.
I think he was out. There was like 3 defensive players out that game. I think maybe Jawan Bentley might have been out that game. There was a few players out, but Mac Jones really didn't look competitive in that. And then, like I said, we got to the next year, even with Patricia, Thanksgiving Day versus Minnesota. He actually had a pretty. What he threw?
That was probably his best game, statistics wise.
Yeah, for sure. But his best game, I can say that his most cleanest game I've seen him play, that where I was really impressed with him, was versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, against Brady.
I feel like he held his own there.
But we need to stop talking about Mac Jones. This is
I'm just saying, just overall looking at it, like though it was a debacle failure, I don't think it was a bad pick because
no, I mean, and that's the thing is like a lot of these first round picks with Elliott Wolf have all been pretty obvious, except for Cole Strange. That one was fucked. That was fucked.
Yeah, but
that was probably the only one that wasn't like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
even that one, because some people I think even looked into it afterwards. I think they said like Cole Strange, some teams were looking at him to go in the second as well. And something about the Patriots didn't feel like they would possibly have that chance to draft him again because if he got picked within those picks, and they didn't want to have to trade up, they didn't want to give the trade value, so he grabbed the guard right there. And I don't think Cole Strange is a bad pick because 2021, all those quarterbacks look like they stink. Trevor Lawrence still got to make up for it. So, hey, we fell victim to that. And the 2022 draft, it's not like it produced a lot of superstars either. So, it is what it is. 23rd pick in the draft. If Cole Strange and Will Campbell become a dynamic duo right there on the left.
Yeah. Jared Wilson, I think he's been hurt. So I haven't really heard much about Jared Wilson yet, which I'm pretty disappointed because I was hoping that he would become a starting center for us, considering he's the best one in college football. But it's looking like it's Bradbury right now. But I don't know what Wilson is dealing with. I don't know how serious it is. But that'd be awesome. He's one that I've been watching out for because being the number one center in all of college football, and we're able to get him in the 4th round, where that's something that's should have a ton of upside, but it sounds like he's hurt. I'm assuming it's something with the knee. That's usually what it is. But
yeah, I think Cole Strange, like I said, if you look up his athleticism, everything, it's very similar to Campbell's. So, and I'm a firm believer. You put good players with good players, that's when you start to see that ceiling and everything. That's when it starts to blossom because. With no left tackle over there or something, like, do you understand how much they may have had to overcompensate just to keep some leakage from coming off that side? So, and like I said, we never heard about Cole Strange as being a terrible guard. When we were talking about the Patriots offensive line being terrible, we're talking about the tackles. The guard position was never really like.
Yeah, he's just hurt. He's hurt all the time, so he's not like available.
Yeah, so
last year, small sample size of him playing, halfway decent.
Yeah, because Pro Football Focus had him ranked in the top 10, I think, at the end of maybe 2022 or 2023, somewhere like around there. So for offensive guard, so that's what it's like. I think they'll be all right. I think the offensive line will be fine. Michael Winu, I think he moves back to his natural position at right guard.
He'll be better with Moses on.
Because he's another one that we had to scratch him, move him all around to overcompensate,
right?
For deficiency. So I feel like you got a group of guys that can all hold their own at the position. So that position should be better. Drake May should have a lot more time to throw the ball. We have a competent offensive coordinator that can get control of the game and come in with competent game planning, knowing what needs to be done, not get backed into a corner.
Our run game, Mondre's back. So I've heard a lot about Travion. I've heard he's looking really fast.
Oh yeah, I love it. I can't wait. I can't. So, I think
those two are
lightning. This is the thunder and lightning punch I think that they needed. Because you keep finding people that's close to Ramondre, then it's never going to work because we know, like, all right, Ramondre can move between the tackles. He could be a very good running back when you let him. Why not give him a counterpart that can loosen the defense up for him and he can loosen, you know what I mean? So I feel like they have a good combination there, as well as receiving out of the backfield. I think Travion Henderson is going to be a very good piece in the Patriots. And
he's an lineman too. He's the best pass blocker prospect we've seen in the last 5 to 10 years.
So he's getting a lot of third down action.
Right, exactly.
And so I feel like they definitely got a lot of things where I could say that the team is balanced out. So we can be quiet for a second and watch how it plays out, and then dissect maybe throughout the season or at the end of the season what they need going into next year and going forward. Because Buffalo still seems to be the biggest threat until we knock them off.
Mm-hmm.
Until we reclaim what they took from us for the last 4 years. But I think we will, because Buffalo, like I said, they lucked up. They had the best quarterback in the division.
Mm-hmm.
That's simply what it came down to. The Jets can't get one to save their life. Tua, you have to stack the team for him to play competent, but you get good quarterback play from him based on the weapons that he got. And we had a pea shooter with Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi. But now, last year, they saw, hold up, they actually have a guy at that position that can threaten our defense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now he has a competent coach with him too.
Yeah, I mean they have to be shitting bricks, right?
Yeah, that's not gonna let a 14-point lead. I thought we were gonna, when we went up 14, I'm like, yes, fucking do it to him. Like I wanted a bad like blowout.
Mm-hmm.
Just to kind of show and to open the world's eyes, like, okay, regardless of what that record say right now, this team's gonna have some money going into the offseason. And it's gonna be hell to pay when they come back next year. And see, I still feel like now we can go toe to toe with them. I feel like with everything that we added,
right on paper, 100%.
Yeah, I feel like with everything that we added, there's no way. And as good as Josh Allen is, I will say this on here right now, and people can. There is no way that he will dog walk that Patriots defense.
No, God, no.
There's no way.
No. He has to get past Milton Williams, Christian Barmore, Gonzo, Carlton Davis, right? Kyle Duggar. Right?
There's so many names, and if you was to put our defense next to theirs, I don't think anybody in the league would say, well, you guys are insane to think that the Patriots got a better defense than the Buffalo Bills right now. I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the year we do have a better defense than them. And especially if we can get Keon White to play all season like how he played in those first 4 or 5 games of the season before he was constantly doubled.
Yeah.
And now Christian Barmore, I'm excited he got cleared to play. So hopefully if we can get the 2023 version of him, 8.5 sacks on the interior line, that's great. And if Milton Williams give you another 8.5, 9 sacks, hell, shit, if he starts hitting 11, 12.
Right, it's wraps.
And especially they're getting pressure. Gonzo has this type of reaction. So whoever it is, he might just lock off one side of the field, but do you think you want to go with Carlton Davis on the other side too?
Right.
Well, okay, maybe you can try to attack us underneath and make us come downhill and tackle. Or they got guys that can tackle.
Yeah, have fun with Anthony Jennings.
Right. Or even Robert Spillane in that aspect.
Yeah.
Or I said, if Craig Williams, like you said, Craig Williams' name is coming up a lot. And I've watched his tape and he hits.
Craig Woodson.
Yeah, Craig Woodson.
Yeah.
He hits.
Yeah.
He's laying the lumber. He's laying the wood. Like literally. I'm telling you.
Almost everyone on our defense can lay the wood.
Yeah, I've been watching. And then so I feel like on defense, they don't really have much to really be scared of. For some years, their best years, they had good safeties back there. Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde were great together. And then you had Tre'Davious White. Matt Milano was a little younger and healthier. Tremaine Edmonds was that's not the same team. And over time, their fan base is not happy right now because they see what the Patriots done got, and they feel like maybe they should have got a little bit more. Anybody in their wide receiving group, I don't feel like nobody in their wide receiving group scares the Patriots defense enough with what they have right now on paper.
Yeah, I mean, unless Keon Coleman has a breakout year, right?
But have a breakout year against a Carlton Davis, a seasoned veteran, Christian Gonzalez, the young up and coming star, and Keon White can barely even beat press coverage. I don't think Josh Allen's going to want to even waste his time trying to show that Keon Coleman can be a superstar versus that corner right there. He's probably going to go out there, Shakir and Kincaid, more so those guys. I think any competent coach is not going to want to take that game to the perimeter.
No, especially where, Gonzo's literally locking up he locked up the Triple Crown winner.
Right.
Keon Coleman is not going to be able to do anything against him. Gonzo has locked up every single receiver he's ever faced.
And he's gotten bigger too. And Keon Coleman were letting smaller corners because that's the thing. When you're that big and you're that long, the one problem that could happen is if somebody gets inside your pads and you're not skilled enough to, give them a quick, it becomes a problem. You can be as big as you want, but if that smaller guy has his center of gravity right, he gets underneath them pads, it can be a problem, and that's what was happening with Keon White. So, I keep calling him Keon White. Keon Coleman.
Yeah.
Buffalo, I think we have to worry about James Cook and Josh Allen. Those are we need to contain those two, and I don't feel like a sweep is happening.
No, I mean,
aren't they favored against us in both games?
They're favored in every single game in their entire season.
I hate that they do that with that team. It's just it's so gross. At this point, I'm so tired.
And the only team to be favored in every single game, which is kind of crazy.
Bro, they keep somehow. Like I said, Josh Allen became the first quarterback to win MVP, but was named the second team. But named as the second team quarterback, he wins the MVP over the first team quarterback. Okay. Rule changes always happening with this team. Every time that they can't get over the hump in the playoffs, there's a rule change that comes in favor of Buffalo. Whether it's overtime, and it's I'm not mad that they're a good team. It's okay, but it's what is it? What's to it?
I think it's the fan base.
Fan
base brings a lot of money.
Yeah, what? At the end of the day, they can bring as much money as they want, unless you can convince me sports is rigged. Josh Allen got to get on his stuff to be able to win that chip, because as good as we can say that he is, there's teams out there that keep being assembled that keep being better than his team in his own conference, as well as on the other side. The Philadelphia Eagles aren't going nowhere. The Washington Commanders, if Jaden Daniels can play that way next year and they can get their defense together, you got another thing on there. Who knows what this George Pickens, CD Lamb combination looks like over there? You still got Detroit on the other side. So it's there's no guaranteed Super Bowl nowhere in this for them. And if you got a healthy Cincinnati Bengals team and their defense gets back, they're fighting. They've already shown multiple times they can beat the Chiefs.
And we haven't even talked about the Chiefs, who literally beat the Bills every single year.
The Ravens. The Ravens are still – they're knocking. They're knocking, and I feel like that team, they're going to break the mold soon, too. You know, who knows what Jacksonville's become? The Patriots, we're ascending to. Who else am I forgetting? The Chargers. The Denver Broncos.
I was going to say the Broncos with Bo Nix. I mean,
The Denver Broncos, the Chargers. Like, there's teams coming up there where I don't think this is about to be a cakewalk, really, for anybody, but let alone these top teams that we feel like are just that much better than a lot of these teams. I feel like as teams are starting to fill out their rosters a lot more, a lot of teams have gotten better than just a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the draft that just happened, where almost every one of the top teams took a non-quarterback.
Right.
I think a lot of teams are starting to realize, or starting to do that team first and then find the quarterback.
Yeah, because all these teams that we just named, and even in the AFC alone, we can name somebody else besides their quarterback that could pose a serious threat, whether on offense or defense. Whether you want to Denver, you got Bo Nix, you got Pat Surtain,
Sutton.
Yeah, Cortland Sutton, or even Melvin Mims.
Yep,
he's been playing good. Chargers, Justin Herbert, Derwin James, Lad McConkey.
Yeah, I'm gonna say McConkey. You have to put him on there.
And they got a damn good offensive line too. Rashawn Slater, Joe Alt. And they took that other guy in the first round a couple of years ago, Zion Johnson, the guard from Boston College.
Yep.
They got a good line over there. Obviously, we know what the Chiefs bring to the table. We know what the Ravens bring to the table. 9 Pro Bowlers last year. Cincinnati, we know what they bring to the table. New England, we can even put them in there. We know what we can bring to the table. We got competent coaching now. So, like, to say that they're just, like, favored that much over everybody, because I feel like this is a Josh Allen tour.
Yeah. I mean, luckily those lines, like, those will change as the season goes. But the preseason, having them all favored is kind of crazy.
They're favored as the Super Bowl favorites for the last couple of years. Like, they usually come out number one a couple of times.
Like, it should be the Chiefs every year. Like, let's be honest, it's always the Chiefs. Right, this year it should be the Eagles, but
that's going to be a hard team to beat. They're not going nowhere. That's going to be a hard team to beat. Maybe now any of them teams in the AFC could beat the Eagles on any given day, just because they may have a better quarterback. Just Hurts have more around him.
Yeah, it's just with their defense. They lost a lot on their defense, but
right,
they're still gonna be a juggernaut. Right, that's
if it's one thing I've seen, and the guy that does change the game, it is the quarterback. Because whether you look at Bill, he's lost to some pretty good quarterbacks, and Nick Saban. Usually, when Alabama lost in college, there was a quarterback that was on that team that was ascending. Deshaun Watson, even Johnny Manziel at that level. He lost to Jarrett Stidham too, which is crazy. But
yeah,
it's the quarterback. So, but I don't think that Buffalo is just that like team that they're just so much like better than everybody. I find it hard to believe. Now, if you said this maybe a year or two ago, I'd be like, okay.
But, yeah, where they had like that strong defense. They still had Stephon Diggs, dropping, over 1,200 yards a season.
Right.
Right. They were younger.
Right.
The biggest thing that this team has that the other teams didn't was James Cook. I think a strong run game to complement Josh Allen.
Yeah.
That's been a massive difference maker for them.
What did they do to get Josh Allen from 26 touchdown passes to maybe 36, 37? You know what I mean? Like 33, 35. Because 26 is like pretty marginally average, but then you give him his rushing yards too. What he had about
15. He tied the record with Hurts, I think, or something.
Yeah, something around there. So it's like, do you want to keep running him into the ground? Because we saw this story with Cam Newton. Not for this long like that, but when Cam Newton was healthy and playing, the Carolina Panthers were typically effective.
Right.
But they ran him into the ground. So it's like, I just don't get it to say that they're favored in every game over everybody. Like, I feel like there's teams that can go out there and beat them any given Sunday.
Yeah, I feel like they haven't done anything to improve.
Right.
They got Joey Bosa, which, like, I think that's a win.
Y'all had Von Miller. Y'all got Von Miller. That was supposed to be a big deal.
Yeah, Von Miller's been a waste of time.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, so Joey Bosa, if Joey Bosa was still the Joey Bosa that we could think of, then he would have still been a Charger right now.
Right.
Because they're trying to reach prominence. So, therefore, contract, everything else could have been taken care of because the Chargers are a very young team. If you relatively look at them, a lot of their guys are on their rookie deals or just got to their second contract. So
right.
Joey Bosa being on the Buffalo Bills, I'm not saying that he won't be a good piece there, but I don't feel like he goes in and makes that defense like so much better. Even at corner, like, all right, they took the corner in the first round, Maxwell Hairston. Like, I watched him in college. He's fast. He's fast. Like, he's not some – he's only like 5'10", 190 something. So it's like bigger wide receivers, he's going to have a problem with that. Like I said, he's fast, but so I don't think Buffalo is this super team they're trying to make them out to be.
I mean, they just have Superman at quarterback, and that's kind of their thing.
They have a very, very, very good quarterback that is most likely going to the Hall of Fame.
Right.
At the end of the day, like I tell everybody, I have no reason to hate on the Bills, Jets, nobody. Because when we was on the top of our game, we won championships. That's what we do. So it's okay. We can sit and rebuild. Everybody else goes through it. It's okay. But remember, when it comes to New England Patriots, we win championships. That's what we do. We win championships.
Yeah.
Most Super Bowl appearances out of any team in league history with 11. That's what we do.
Yeah. Yep. But,
so,
all right. Well, next week, right, we'll have more with OTA, so hopefully we have more news coming out of there.
Yeah, for sure. But I'll definitely let you know about next Friday for sure.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, I'll just hop on. So.
All right, for sure.
All right.
Hey, have a good night, bro.
Yeah.
We're on to Cincinnati. It's nothing about the past, nothing about the future. It's right now we're preparing for Cincinnati.
Okay, do you feel like the talent you have here is good enough?
We're getting ready for Cincinnati.
What is your responsibility?
Well, I mean, I'm just asking, do you think you've done enough to help Tom Brady?
We're getting ready for Cincinnati. Stupid thing.